These people are mad because they can't put you in a bubble. They think they know you, but they don't. There are some people, they get very jealous and envious of people who they think they have all figured out, but they don't. There are some people, because they're jealous and envious, they don't want to see you live up to your full potential. They don't want to see you in full force. They don't want to see you walking in authority and power. They don't want to see you being the best version of yourself. So they try to put you into a bubble. People who are very jealous, envious of others, they love to limit other people in their imagination. They can only imagine you being one way. If you are a quiet, soft-spoken, mild-mannered kind of woman, there are going to be people who look at those beautiful qualities and assume that you cannot be of any kind of influence. They will look at those qualities and assume there's only far, but so far you will go. When you start to blow them out the water with what you're doing, with how you're being, with who you are as a person, there are going to be some people, because they have a limited viewpoint of you, they get very jealous and envious of seeing you be maximum. They get jealous and envious of seeing you having that grandioso kind of way about you. There are some people, they put you into a bubble because that's the only place they can handle you in. But when they see you living at full force, they can't handle it. So they get jealous and envious. Some women experience this kind of thing specifically with family members. Family is good for trying to box you in. And even well-intentioned, loving families can sometimes do this to people. When you are the kind of woman that people only see in one way, when they see you living outside of that, so let's say because you tend to be a little bit more quiet or you're shy, some people assume that that means you're scared or you're fearful, that you don't really do much, you don't really say much, so that means that you're not accomplishing much. When you turn out to be the opposite of that bubble they put you into, they start seeing you live at a higher capacity. They get very jealous and envious of the fact that you are carrying yourself in this extroverted, grand kind of way when they put you into a bubble. So these people are mad because they put you in a bubble because they thought they knew you, but they don't. See, when you don't live up to other people's limited expectation of you, there will be people who get jealous and envious when you supersede that. When you start doing better than they expected, when you turn out to be stronger than they thought, when you turn out to have a voice, when you turn out to be very accomplished or well-rounded or other people like you and see you, there will be some people who just don't know how to let you be great. I recently saw a video of a streamer. His own mother got upset because he had 15,000 people watching him and he's starting to succeed at his streaming, at his vlogging and TikTok page and all of that. He's starting to do well. This brings me to the first point. Sometimes it be your own people. And I have to say it in that way because sometimes it be your own people. Sometimes it be your own family that's jealous and envious because they put you in a box. They assume that you would only be one way. And when you turn out to be a different way, they get jealous and envious of that. If they thought you were not going to amount to anything and you turned out to be everything and more, they will get jealous and envious of that. If you turn out to be the one who superseded the family when it comes to your finances, your resources, and everything else, they will be jealous and envious of that. When you turn out to be the kind of woman that every man wants but can't have because you have your choice, they will be jealous and envious of that because they thought no man would like you because you're a plain Jane, or because you don't really seem like you're that kind of girl. You don't really seem like you're awkward. You're this, you're that. And you turn out to have everything that they wish they had. Now, I know to some people, this can sound like one of those, aha, I'll show them. No, it's many people's lived reality of dealing with jealous, envious, and miserable people. What's worse is that sometimes those very people are your family, the very ones you would expect who would support you, and instead they try to limit you and put you in this bubble where they can be comfortable with you. When you're dealing with jealous, envious people, especially other family, where they like to put you in this box, they think they know you so well, they try to get you to live within limitation. When you step outside of that, sometimes the relationship can get uncomfortable, it can get awkward because they did not expect that from you. When a person sees, even your own mother, and I brought up that streamer a moment ago to prove the point that sometimes the very person you would think will want to see you do well, even if it's something they don't understand. You know, to her as a mother, streaming might not seem that big a deal, but to have 15,000 people watching you and you've never had that amount of people and understanding like monetization and, you know, influence and all that kind of stuff, to her 18-year-old son, that was very important. As a mother, I can't imagine embarrassing him, trying to display that kind of jealousy toward my own son when he's accomplishing something. I say that to say, sometimes it be your own people that will come up against you because they have a limited view of you or they don't respect you. This brings me to the next point. When people try to put you into a bubble, but because they think they know you, but they don't, sometimes in order for you to be successful, you are going to go outside, or you're going to have to go outside of the influence of the people that you grew up with, outside of your family. You're going to have to start over with people who do not know you, because with familiarity comes a lot of jealousy, envy, and people thinking they know you when they don't. See, if somebody gives birth to you, that's your mother. She loves you. She knows you. But when you get older, you become an adult, your interests, the things you like, the things you don't like, the things you want to accomplish, they don't know all of that. And it's okay. They can still love you. But the point I'm making with this is that some parents, when they see that you're accomplishing more at a younger age than what they did, they will be jealous. I don't understand that on a maternal level for myself, because I want my children to be 10 times better than me. I tell them that all the time. I want you to have things all figured out before I did. I want you to do things quicker than I did. You know, you go at your own pace, but I want them to be better. I say that to say it is super unnatural for a parent to be jealous and envious of their own child, and yet you have some parents who are. They try to put you in these boxes of limitation based on their own fear, their own projection, their own jealousy of how far you may go. So they try to limit you. And this is not just with family, but it cuts deeply, it hurts deeply when you start realizing that sometimes it's your own family that'll do this kind of thing. So these people are mad because they put you in a bubble. They act like they know you, but they don't. I want to talk about those people who are not family related, those people that you know, friends that might not be accomplishing anything or have very low ambition. When you are the kind of person that has ambition, but you're not always bragging about it, there will be people who see what you do and automatically start getting jealous. There's a young lady on TikTok right now that's talking about how she don't want to work. She wants to be a content creator and all these kind of things. And while I hear her, pandering to people is never a good look. Begging is never a good look. But there's nothing wrong with wanting to step outside the box and do something different. So she's wrong in her approach, but what she's saying, I completely get. I use her as an example to say, there will be some people who think they know you, but they don't. They want to put you in a bubble because they want you to do what everybody else is doing. They want you to stay average so they can feel comfortable. People who are often very jealous and envious of others, they have that mentality that if I must suffer, you must suffer. If I have to struggle, you must struggle. And even your own family, parents, you would think they want to give you a leg up in life. Some parents don't. Some family don't. It's like, oh, I had to get it in the mud. I think that's what they say, get it out the mud. I had to get it out the mud, so you do too. That kind of mentality screams jealousy, especially from people who are not family, people who are like friends, people who you just know in passing. I say that to say, when people try to put you in a bubble, They can't see you beyond their own limitations. This is the reason why who you're around as you go up matters. So these people are mad because they put you in a bubble. They thought they knew you, but they don't. When you get outside of the influence of people who try to put limitations on you, that is when you really start thriving. That is when you will really start seeing improvements in your life. As long as you are dealing with people who always try to put limitations on you, as long as you are dealing with people who are always trying to make it seem like you're weird or you're odd simply because you're trying to do something outside the box, and a lot of the jealousy and envy that women experience is from people who get upset because you dare to be different. I know that sounds cliche, but it's a fact. There are some people, they don't want you to be different than your environment. They want you to suffer like everybody else is suffering. If they have not yet figured out their own life and how to fix their problems, they don't want you to figure it out either. And this goes for family and friends. There are some family members, they're still stuck in situations they were in when they were teenagers, not because they didn't have the option to get out of it, but because of piss poor thinking and bad influence. If you are the kind of woman that did not subscribe to allowing other people to bring you down and to keep you stuck, there will be people who try to put you in a box simply because they're struggling, because they're stuck. It's almost as if you get punished for surviving the things that were meant to break you down. This brings me to the next point: survivor's jealousy. When you are dealing with people who put you in a bubble, they act like they know you, but they don't. They get jealous and envious of the fact that you are a survivor, that you survived, that you escaped, that you got away from all those things that were meant to limit you. Some people like to see you in a bubble or act like they really know you better than you know you, because looking at you on a small scale makes them feel better about the big scale things that you are doing. So let's say, and I'm going to use this because everybody's reality is not the same. Believe it or not, everybody does not want to be attached to, I'll use this as an example, and I'm not knocking it. Everybody doesn't want to work for somebody else. Everybody doesn't want to have to answer to other people. If you are the kind of woman that works hard and you're trying to start your own business, or you want to work for yourself, have something you own and don't have to really answer to anybody about it, that can be too big for people with a limited understanding on success, on jobs and career, on the way you take care of yourself. If you try to explain to somebody who has a stuck mentality and has a jealous, envious spirit, as into the reason why you want to work for yourself so that you're not always having to answer to someone and ask somebody's permission, they're not going to be able to receive it. They think they know you, but they don't. They will try to convince you that you are not smart enough, you are not strong enough to run a business. You are not smart enough, strong enough, or capable enough to run your own life. These are people with very limited conversation, a limited outlook. Their conversation will be limited. This brings me to a little bit of a sidebar, but still on point. While some people, they put you in a bubble because they think they know you, but they don't. As you are leveling up and trying to do better as a woman, do not talk to people, or don't tell people about the big things you plan to do when you know they have a small way of thinking. When you're talking about things that are outside of the norm of what the average person does, don't talk to certain people about it. You don't need them to push their limited thinking onto you when you're trying to do something. I'm going to use this as an example, and believe me, I'm not using this as an example to prop myself up or to brag or anything like that. But when I started writing books, that's different than some of the individuals I was dealing with at the time. When I said that I was actually going to be an author and write books and, publish them myself and, try to get a literary agent and things like this, I had certain people looking at me as if I was so delusional, as if I was so out there, as if I was lazy, because it's like, what do you mean? You want to sit back and write books? What do you mean? You want to encourage people. That's not real. That's not real. And you're quiet. So like, how can you even do that? Like, you barely say anything to us because I don't like you. So I'm only joking. But I say that to say, some of us introverted people, we kind of play down our personality with certain individuals. I'm being goofy, but I say this to say, when people think they know you, but they don't, they will try to make it seem like your goals are foolish because they don't understand. And because they put you in a box and think they know you when they really don't. If you are not careful, you will play into the limitations and the negativity of other people. So these people put you in a bubble because they think they know you, but they don't. Allowing somebody else, because of their jealousy, their envy, their misery, or their negativity, allowing them to push their negative feelings about you, about their own life, about whatever onto you, that is going to limit you and the things that you're trying to accomplish. Surrounding yourself with people who think they know you better than you is not going to make for a very victorious, a very successful, or a very peaceful life. This brings me to the next point. When you have people who put you in a bubble, they think they know you, but they don't. They can be super disrespectful when they realize that they can't limit you, that you're not limited. You're not limited in your personality. You're not limited in how you are as a woman. You just choose to be more reserved because everybody doesn't need to know your business. You see, when there are people who put you in a bubble, they think they know you, but they don't. There are going to be some people who assume that because you are reserved, because you don't go around telling everybody your business, that means that you don't really have any goals or dreams for your life. And that is not true. See, a person they tend to put in a bubble is a person who does not tell everybody everything they have going on, because you know there are some people who cannot receive goodness or decency from you. There are some people who cannot receive good news from you. So these people put you in a bubble because they think they know you, but they don't. How do you deal with people who try to put you in a bubble, try to force their limitations onto you? Number one, see it for the projection that it is. When you are dealing with jealous, envious people or people who are miserable and they try to put you in a box based on their own limitations, you have to recognize that stuff for what it is and don't let it bother you. There are some people, because they know that you're not limited, they like to place this image of you being shy or awkward or socially awkward or, these different labels because it makes them more comfortable with you. Do not allow people and their limited way of thinking about their own life to affect you in your life. Like and subscribe to the channel and share this content. Hit the notification bell so that you're aware when I post a brand new video. If you watch this video until the very end, put the cute little high heel emoji in the comment section. I absolutely love to see it. Take care.